This month I was supposed to make Christmas presents and failed, but I did spend too much time looking for an Abominable Snowman, so let's talk about that instead. So my wife and I tend to make Christmas presents for people rather than buying them things. We just don't have a lot of money and we do have time, so we make things instead. A few years ago, we made cranberry sauce and garlic oil for people. Last year I made trivets, and if you don't know what they are, they're the things you put hot pans on when you take them off the stove. So this year we were planning to make coasters, and I spent a few days trying, and I just can't do it. If I had my table saw, I'd be able to do it, but it would waste a lot more of the wood. So I didn't want to use it, and right now I can't access it anyway. So I was trying to use my bandsaw instead. But the issue is I cannot get the bandsaw to cut in a straight line. It's really good if I want to do curves, but if I want to do a straight line, it just won't work. I thought at first it wasn't tracking right, so I changed the guides and changed the tension on the blade to see if that would help, and I removed the blade and put it back on again just in case it was sitting wrong. But no, it just seems like the blade itself it's so thin that putting any pressure on the blade makes the blade drift. Even if I hold the piece of wood perfectly using the miter gauge, so it can't move left or right, the actual piece of wood, I can run it straight forwards, and even just that will push the blade to the left. So I will start in one place and it will drift to the left just over the course of the cut. There's ways of dealing with it, like having I don't know what it's called on a bandsaw. It's like a blade guard type thing, I don't exactly know. But having that as close to the wood as possible should mitigate the drift, and it mitigated it, like I say, it wasn't quite as bad, but it was still there. It was still too bad for me to get a usable piece out of it. So I'm kind of glad that this bandsaw was a present, because right now it's basically useless. Outside of replacing the blade for it, there's not much I can do, and because of the size of it, it's just awkward getting a blade that'll fit it. It's just annoying. I've spent most of last week just trying to get it to cut straight, and just couldn't do it. So I'm not making coasters anymore. I have a plan what I would like to make instead, but even then I'm not totally sure if I'll be able to get that done. Just gonna try. I'm not going to tell you why it is, just in case anyone I'm going to give it to listens to this, but I don't think that would happen, but just in case. Another thing I spent a lot of time on was trying to get Christmas presents for my wife. Now, I'm not going to tell you the normal presents that I bought. I don't think she'd listen to the podcast, but she is actually one room over, so she could overhear. But I got some normal presents, and I also bought some Abominable Snowmen. One of the supermarkets here has brought out this range of Abominable Snowmen things, and we bought some of them anyway, just because we liked them, so we bought some. And then they released some more stuff, and I was like, oh, I'll get it as a Christmas present. And the issue is that it started off with just getting a few bits, and then I kept finding more and more of the stuff, and I had to go to more and more shops to find them, and every day they seem to be releasing new things. So I've spent a ridiculous amount of money and a ridiculous amount of time just travelling around trying to find these Abominable Snowmen things. I went to 6 different shops over the course of 2 days trying to find them. And I got a lot of it, but I couldn't even get everything I wanted to. The store has an app, and the app will tell you what's in stock, so you don't have to go to the shop. It'll just tell you that it's in stock and you can check, and if it's not in stock, there's no point going, is there? That's the idea, at least. The issue being that it would tell me that things were in stock, and then I'd go and they wouldn't be there. So that happened to me twice. Before the third time, I just went and spoke to a member of staff, and they managed to find some of the items on one of the racks in the warehouse, and they brought some out to me and gave them to me, which was nice of them. But the app said that they had them in stock, said where they should be in the store, but they just weren't there. So I had to go and get someone to get them out of the warehouse for me. But then there was another thing the day after, where it said it was in stock, so I went down and had a look, and it wasn't there, and I spoke to a member of staff. And now this member of staff, it turns out that there is another version of the app for staff members, and the staff version of the app doesn't just tell you that a thing is in stock, it tells you when a delivery has happened, when the next delivery is supposed to be, things like that. The thing was telling them it was in stock, but it was also telling them that they had never received a delivery of them, and were never planning to receive a delivery of them. And she was confused, and I was confused, and she spent 20 minutes looking for me, which was really nice of her, but she spent ages looking, because it got to a point where it was just she just wanted to know what was going on. Even outside of me getting this present, she just wanted to know why it was like this. She ended up speaking to the store manager, and they didn't know. It's just, no one knew what this one thing was, and we were just so confused. And then that's not even to mention the things that did exist that weren't supposed to. There's items that aren't on the website, that aren't on the app, but that are in store and that I did buy. And then there's other things which they've actually now stopped being on sale. Officially, they are not supposed to be on sale anymore, but the app has now updated to add more things just to update to say they're out of stock. I'm just so confused. It's like driving me insane. And it's one of those things where I actually said this to my wife, that if I'd have known that I wouldn't have been able to get everything, I wouldn't have bought as much as I did. I only bought as much as I did because I was like, oh, well, there's only one or two other things I've not got, so I might as well get them. So I've got everything. And then I bought those, and then it turns out there was even more, so I bought those as well. And then it turns out there's even more. It's just been like an actual nightmare trying to get them, and I've now actually just given up on getting them because, like I said, they're not even selling Christmas presents anymore. It has like a thing on the website where it tells you when they're going to have things in stock by, or when they're going to sell stuff. And it tells you that they are going to stop selling Christmas presents on the 14th of December, and they're going to stop selling Christmas decorations on the 17th of December, and they're going to stop selling Christmas food on the 22nd of December. And everyone I've spoken to, including the members of staff, is just confused by that. But that's what they have to do, and we're all just confused why you would stop selling Christmas things before Christmas. As for the channels, Dead Souls is finished now. I already want to record another Yakuza, but that's going to have to wait a little bit. I'm going to try and get one more LP finished just before the end of the year. I'm going to start recording that probably tomorrow now. There's just enough slots left to finish it before the year's over, because the game's only short. I should hopefully be able to get that done. If I can't get it done properly, I might just force it through, essentially. Maybe one extra really long episode at the end or something like that just to get it done, because, as I've said multiple times, I don't want to spread it over the course of years. I'm just about to start my Christmas break from streaming, though this year it's only going to be one stream that I miss. A couple of years it's been two, well this year it's just the one. It's a bit annoying actually, because part of me doesn't want to do it, because it means that I'm going to miss a week of Nitu Weekway and finishing off the Pelu Pelu, but it'd be nice to have the week off. The podcast is early yet again, as you can tell. I mentioned last month that I was going to be doing my Game of the Year for 2023 video right now, and I've written about 1,500 words, but I've still got about 2,500 more to go, so it's just taking a lot of time. What I have done though is worked a little bit differently than usual. Usually I do it as get the script done, record the script, then edit, because I want to have the audio in place so that I can edit the video and stuff around it. Like, that makes sense. What I did this time was I knew the script was going to take me a really long time, so I've actually been recording the script in chunks. So I always have like the intro, so when I finish writing the intro, I recorded the intro and put that in. When I finished all my honourable mentions, I recorded those and put those in. My outro, I've done that as well. So I've currently done my intro, outro, honourable mentions, and one entry in the top 10. So I've just got the rest of them to write. It's a bit of a different process, but it means that I'm going to have way less work to do later, which is nice. I've just got, it's not even less work to do. It just means that I can get some of it done as I'm getting all the bits done. It means I don't have to like rush doing the edit to get the video out on time. I should still be okay, but I've still got a lot to write. Doing this podcast early means that I've got more time to write, basically. But I still only have, how long? 13 days in total until that video is supposed to be out. And 3 of those days are Christmas days. So I'm probably not going to be doing anything those days, really. It's not giving me a ton more time, but it's giving me a bit. I've actually started planning my 2024 Game of the Year video already. So that one should show up a lot more on time. I'm planning for February for that. Actually, speaking of next year, I'm not planning on making any changes. Some years I've changed how things worked, like I've changed my layouts, or I've changed schedule, or I've added new series or whatever. This year I'm not planning anything at the moment. I might do after we move, because it's not especially difficult for me to make videos now, but it's going to be even easier when I've just got my own space completely. I don't have to worry about other people making noise when I'm recording, stuff like that. I mean, I still will have to, because there's going to be people living not in my house, but next to it. But it should be less of an issue, hopefully at least. I've been saying that we're going to move for so long at this point, it almost feels like we never will, but it will happen at some point, eventually. And I think other than that, everything's just going to carry on as normal. Special thanks to all of my patrons. You can join them over at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, and for $1 a month you'll get to see what I'm working on early, and get exclusive roles in my Discord, along with other rewards I might think of. You can also just follow me there if you want to for free, as it's probably the best place to see all of my content as soon as it's available. There's links to my Patreon, along with my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other podcast platforms in the description for this episode. Finally, don't forget you can email me using podencastby@gmail.com if you've got anything you want to say. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter @Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.